The easiest way to fool someone is to tell them things will get worse before they get better. What if one simple sentence could make you trust the wrong people for months, or even years? It'll get worse before it gets better. It sounds wise. It sounds realistic. It sounds like something only an expert would say. But sometimes, it's nothing more than a psychological trap. A few years ago, while on vacation in Corsica, I became seriously ill. The pain grew stronger every day. Eventually, I visited a local clinic. A young doctor examined me in a strange way. He pressed my stomach, squeezed my shoulders, touched my knees, and poked my spine. I wasn't convinced he knew what he was doing, but I trusted his confidence. After the examination, he prescribed antibiotics and gave me a reassuring prediction. Take these 3 times a day. It'll get worse before it gets better. At first, the pain became even worse, and strangely, that made me trust him more. After all, his prediction was coming true. 3 days later, I was still suffering. I called him again. He simply increased the dosage and repeated the same message. It'll hurt a little longer before it improves. Once again, I believed him. Only later did I discover the truth. A Swiss emergency doctor diagnosed appendicitis and rushed me into surgery. The local doctor had no idea what was wrong with me, yet his prediction kept me from seeking real help. When someone says, "It'll get worse before it gets better," they create a situation where almost every outcome seems to prove them right. If things get worse, their prediction appears accurate. If things improve unexpectedly, they claim their method worked. Either way, they win. This is why the fallacy is so dangerous. Consider a struggling company. Sales are collapsing, employees are frustrated, and management is desperate. A consultant arrives and promises to fix everything, but he includes a condition. Results won't come immediately. Things may get worse before they improve. Months pass. Sales continue falling. The consultant points to the decline as proof that his prediction was correct. Another year passes. Business gets even worse. Once again, he claims the company is moving through a difficult transition phase. The promise keeps moving into the future. The finish line never arrives. Politicians often use the same strategy. During economic crises, they tell citizens to prepare for difficult years ahead. They promise that sacrifice today will create prosperity tomorrow. The timeline remains vague. The conditions remain undefined. This ambiguity protects the prediction from being tested. The same pattern appears in extreme belief systems. Some people believe the world must first descend into chaos before paradise can emerge. Every disaster becomes evidence. Every tragedy confirms the prophecy. And if things improve, believers simply call it a blessing. Again, every possible outcome supports the belief. This happens because humans naturally seek confirmation rather than truth. We notice evidence that supports our beliefs and ignore evidence that challenges them. Psychologists call this confirmation bias, and the "it'll get worse before it gets better" fallacy is one of its most effective disguises. Of course, sometimes things really do get worse before they improve. Changing careers often involves temporary setbacks. Building a business may require short-term sacrifices. Recovering from an injury can be painful before healing begins. The difference is that real improvement leaves measurable evidence. There are milestones, there is progress. There are objective signs that the strategy is working. Empty promises rely on faith. Real solutions rely on evidence. So the next time someone tells you, "It'll get worse before it gets better," don't automatically believe them. Ask a simple question. What evidence will prove this is actually working? Because wisdom can predict the future, but deception can predict every possible outcome.